Welcome, I'm Son of Evil. Tonight I'm joined by ChimeraNina, and we're going to be watching XL Gaming versus Washed Up in AEF Division 2 Season 2. Welcome, Chimera.
Hey dude, what's up?
Yeah, just sorting out some last minute bloody issues.
Yeah, it always seems to be the problem, doesn't it?
Alright, so well into the draft already. First phase ban's done, first picks coming out. We got classic Crystal Maiden, still very popular. I'm starting to wonder if we're ever going to see the end of this Ice Queen.
To be honest, I think the only way that you're going to see the end of Crystal Maiden is if Brilliant Aura gets a bit of a nerf. I think it's just way too good right now. Just being able to help out every single lane, and a lot of these offlaners these days want like a bit of a spammy ability, so like your Legion Commanders, your Bristlebacks, so they really love that mana. But yeah, so I don't think Crystal Maiden's going to be going too far away unless Brilliant Aura gets nerfed to the ground.
Yeah, interestingly, with the bans, I've seen a lot of focus around the position 4 bans, along with the Bristleback. XL choosing to ban out 2 supports, so the Keeper of the Light and the Warlock.
Kind of interesting, to be honest. As you said, a lot of these teams are deciding to, get rid of that Bristleback ASAP, because not many people want it. But Warlock and Coddle, 2 very good supports currently in the meta, along with the Crystal Maiden. So maybe just wanting to limit the the availability of these supports for Washed Up.
Yeah, do you know if these are 2 heroes that they like to pick? Are these targeted bans for Washed Up, or are they sort of XL banning around a strategy that they might have pre-picked?
I think it's probably more towards XL just not wanting to deal with the heroes, because I did cast Washed Up last week, and they did favour the Crystal Maiden a lot in those 2 games. They were 2 very quick stompy games, so I think it's more of just we don't want to deal with these team fighting annoying heroes, because Coddle is absolutely disgusting with mana leak. So I think it's just, get rid of those heroes, we don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, certainly. Do you think the Coddle ban is perhaps them not wanting to ban out the Bristleback? Perhaps they feel like they can deal with the Bristleback, but they've banned out the Coddle as a combination, and sort of relying on Washed Up to ban the Bristleback in their round instead?
Yeah, definitely. So they, I don't believe they had the first pick, so they were kind of leaving it up to Washed Up whether or not they wanted to have the Bristleback or go with either the Crystal Maiden or one of those other better supports. So I think, yeah, as you said, they kind of just put the ball up in the air for Washed Up. Do you guys want the Bristleback, or do you guys want to give it to us, sort of thing?
Radiant team back.
Yeah, and so Washed Up this is interesting. This should be a really exciting early game. So we've got a Rubik Pudge, we've got Crystal Maiden Kunkka. All these heroes are really well known for their ability to roam. Maybe Crystal Maiden a little less, because she's sort of a bit slow with that 270 base movement speed now.
Yeah, definitely. I think what's probably going to happen is they usually with the Crystal Maiden you want a self-sustaining safe laner, so you kind of just let the Crystal Maiden zone out the offlaner for a little bit, get the safe laner up to probably level 3, and then she can jungle, and then the Kunkka can roam with the Brilliant Aura. So they're probably going to be going towards, maybe a Life Stealer or a Sven or something that just doesn't mind being solo in the lane. So Crystal Maiden, doesn't really want to roam. She kind of wants to sit in the jungle, farm up a little bit, get a bit more levels, and yeah.
And I guess the Juggernaut would be on the table then for them as well, as far as safe laners go. Do you think?
100%.
Do you think it's too early to talk about perhaps what XL might have in mind? I mean, these heroes. I mean, we know that they're only going to pick cores from here on out in the draft, so they've left it. They've sort of closed off their end of the draft, at least in that respect. I mean, as have Washed Up, but it's really not telling us much about the direction of the picks for either of these teams, actually.
Yeah, definitely. So both these teams kind of in the same vein. They just have their nice little 5-position support that wants to sit in the lane, do their thing, and then they've got the roamers that are going to try and put the pressure on the map. So it'd be interested to see what XL goes into here. They have chewed into a fair amount of their reserve time, so they don't really have that much time remaining to pick up their cores, but yeah, it's still very open-ended for both these teams. They can go anywhere they want, to be honest.
I know Ugaba, the mid for XL, he's very believe his 3 favorite heroes is TA, Ember Spirit, and
Radiant team pick.
Meepo. Those are his personal favorites. Given that there's an Omni Knight, I wouldn't expect we would see a Meepo here.
Yeah, I think Meepo is kind of one of those heroes that you either need to last pick at the moment. He's not that strong. There are heroes that can deal with it, but he's one of those heroes. If you pick him last and there's no Meepo counters, he just takes over the entire game and destroys everyone. But in saying that, Pengu, in the last series that I casted of him, he plays a lot of weird offlane, a lot of weird mid laners. He was playing, I believe it was Necrophos, and they did pick up the offlane Panda as well. So this could be their offlane Panda strat one more time.
Right. Okay. Then XL. Knowing that you're going to be up against that, was it drunken haze? Very frustrating ability. What's the range on that? Does that hit? Does that hit range? Like if they were to pick up a ranged hero, would they be like out of range of that drunken haze or?
I think level 1. I think it's not that great. To be fair, it does get a bit more of a bigger AOE. So once you get a bit more levels in it, you can kind of just throw it on the range creep, and hopefully it spills off onto the range carry. But I think heroes more like your Drow rangers and stuff like that actually have decent attack ranges, can deal with the Panda much more. But in saying that, he's a pretty poor laner if he's left by himself, but he could have the Kunkka there to help him out. So if he's starved of levels, he's gonna pretty much do nothing. But if he gets a pretty early blink tag or pretty early level 6, he can cause trouble for XL.
Yeah, so they have got the Luna, so Luna might be able to stay out of range of that drunken haze, maybe not deal too badly with it. Washed Up going in for the Morphling. So Morphling's going to be looking to the Kunkka and the Brewmaster to keep this game together for him for the first 20 minutes or so. And
yeah,
XL have drafted a Luna, and that sort of says that they're going to be wanting to take objectives before 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. This was the same hero that was paired up with the Panda in the last game that Washed Up played the offlane Panda, so I'd be interested to see if they do pick up the same mid laner as well. I think it was the Necrophos that game. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's kind of like you want the Kunkka and the Panda to make a lot of space for this Morphling. If he gets a pretty early lane, pretty free lane, it's going to be pretty hard for him against the Omni Knight Punch, because that's a pretty scary combination for a Morphling. So if they're able to protect him a little bit, get him up, let him get that Linkens, let him get his E-Blade or Dragonlance or whatever he wants to go into, he can be pretty hard to deal with for Team XL because they don't have any silencers right now. The only instant disable they have is the Rubik Lift, but Morphing Linkens is pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like they need some sort of like AoE, like an AoE stun, or even just like a strong single target disable. I'd really like to see an Ember Spirit here, actually. I think it would lane pretty well against the puck. Ugaba plays the hell out of that hero.
Definitely. You could even potentially see the Meepo coming out here from XL. Like, it's not a bad Meepo game, but yeah, I think Ember Spirit is a fairly strong pick here. There is not really that much to deal with him. Like, you do have the Kunkka X and the Crystal Maiden Root, but he seems like if the Pudge gives him a very easy lane, a very early rotations on that mid lane, this Ember Spirit can just do a heck of a lot of work, especially with that Morphling keeping in place. But yeah, their car are running a bit low on time here, so I'm not quite sure what they're going to pick up here. It could be pretty interesting last pick.
I guess the only thing I'd be concerned about with Ember, I don't think he matches up too badly against the puck once he gets a couple levels in his spell shield. But there's the Ember Spirit. But with I guess early on, puck has just insanely high base damage, and I don't know whether or not the PMS that he's probably going to pick up is going to be enough to mitigate that early physical damage.
Yeah, definitely. And
so we might see some babysitting.
Yeah, so I think maybe the Pudge is going to probably try and put a bit more emphasis on this mid lane. Like, puck is pretty susceptible to being ganked level 1. If he picks up the Illusory Orb, then Ember Spirit's going to have a pretty fun time trading with him. But if he picks up the Phase Shift, it's going to be pretty easy for the Pudge to, rot on top of him and try and take him down. So I'm interested to see how Pengu plays his puck in the mid lane against Ugaba's Ember Spirit. But yeah, I think a lot of the onus is on the Pudge here. He's one of those heroes that, you can flop pretty hard on the hero, or you can pretty much just take over a single game. So interested to see if Edor does do what every Pudge wants to and, be level 6 by 5 minutes and have your Aether Lens like at 10 minutes. So interested to see how he gets his work done today.
Yeah, I guess there's a difference between the Pudges that play on my teams and the ones that play on my opponent's teams. We'll see what Eodor can do with it.
Yeah, definitely. So see if he gets see if he's going to stick to that top lane, because Panda is kind of in the same vein as the Puck, right? Like, he's a very weak laner without levels. So if the Pudge is able to put a lot of pressure on the Panda and get a lot of early levels off the Panda dying, this could, you know, be very, very hard for Washed Up. But I'm just interested to see how they lane this. If the Kunkka decides to send top, or I think the Kunkka pretty much just needs to follow around the Pudge and just make the Pudge's life hell.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about Panda's ability to get farm in that top lane. Like, if they decide to tri-lane him, I just think he dies every time he turns up.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, just interested to see how the boys from Washed Up, you know, decide to lane this and where they put their pressure and where they, you know, put a lot of their counter pressure to try and stop the Pudge from, you know, taking over this game.
Prepare for battle.
Alright, so we'll go through and introduce the players and their heroes. So we've got Pengu on the Puck. Over on the Morphling being played at Shep at home. Kunkka, we've got Dark Destronova. On the offlane Brewmaster, we have Curry Puffs. And we have Birdie playing the Crystal Maiden. And over on XL, playing that Rubik, we have Dona. Ugabba on the Ember Spirit. Over on Pudge, we've got Eodor. On the offlane Omni Knight, we have Young Scrim. And on Luna, being played by Big Red. Which is interesting. Big Red is normally their position 4 hero. So position 4 player.
Well, they do have a stand-in tonight, so maybe just Eodor is not, you know,
30 seconds to battle.
not used to playing in position 1. So who is their usual position 1 for XL?
You know, I should know this off the top of my head. I'm part of the organization.
Oh, jeez.
Oh god, don't tell
That
them.
feels bad.
The problem, MacArthur, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Early D-ward by Dona here manages to catch this Observer ward.
Yeah,
It's a nice little return on his sentry. And what's that? How much XP do you get for that? It's like
I think it's like, wait, how much did you get?
something.
You got 25 XP for
25.
that.
They're
so-
worth 25. I thought they made them worth more at some stage. Maybe they nerfed it.
That was a very nice D ward. It's a pretty common ward to try and get one on that high ground against the enemy mid laner. So it was very nice there from Dona. Just kind of predicting it, putting down his own sentry and obs, and, you know, kind of securing the mid lane for the Ember Spirit. Giving that high ground ward is going to, you know, do wonders for him. Especially seeing that he's going to be against a Kunkka and Crystal Maiden potentially roaming on him.
Yeah, and it looks like there isn't going to be any babysitting for Ugabba in the mid lane, and it looks like he's already suffering a little bit to these right clicks. You know, he's sitting down at about what's he lost there? About 100 HP, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But this Puck is actually hitting him extremely hard. Puck is one of those gorgeous heroes that have insanely good attack animation, really good right-click damage, and kind of just bully heroes out of the lane. But it's interesting to see how Ugabba comes back with a bit of levels.
Yeah,
and,
he's fighting back now, but he's taking a lot of damage here. I mean, he does have the steering change, but you know, just a few too many creeps for him to be able to reliably get that off.
Yeah, he does salve up there, so he's going to be back at full HP. And Pengu,
Oh,
good play there. That was really nice to get
Yeah, and
that
gets
extra
the,
regen from the sentry.
not going to miss that at all. Looks like Brewmaster's already struggling. He's gone to jungle at level 1. It'll be very slow going for him.
I feel like a lot of these teams that try and do these like quirky offlaners, it's either you have to put a lot of emphasis on them, like getting their quick level 6, like the Panda, like the Puck and stuff like that, or you kind of just go, you know what, mate, you're going to be walking around and pressing W on some heroes in teamfight. That's all you're going to do this game, pretty much. So, interested to see how he comes back, whether or not he goes into like maybe an Iron Talon or something like that, or just Midas. You know, because last time Copos played this offlane Panda, he did kind of have a pretty free 1v1 and got a very early Midas, and the game was kind of over in, I think it was 18 minutes or whatever they won the game. So the first rotation come from the boys of XL, trying to find this Panda.
Has he got a ward on him? No, neither of them have a ward, but they're going to see him down there. Lift is skilled up. Pudge has got the rod, he's got the hook. He's just going to walk at him. Brewmaster drops the Thunderclap, just trying to slow him down, see if he can get away, but the slow from right and the right clicks are just doing too much, and it looks like First Blood is going to go the way of Eodor and XL Gaming.
Yeah, it's just kind of a sad times. You're not really having that much fun in the offlane as a Panda, and then you go try and do some jungle stacks and a Pudge, and Rubik kind of just chase you after. And...
Ooh, Omni Knight's in a bit of trouble now. He's got the repel. He's got to be able to try and run away. Getting body blocked up by the Kunkka. And Morphling picks up the kill for himself with the right click.
Yeah, that was some really nice body blocks there from Dark Dash Nova. Doing what he can after the repel came out from the Omni Knight, you know. Body blocking him up, Morphling right-clicked him down. So this is kind of what you want from a Morphling. You want that free lane, get him that, you know, really early Lincoln Sphere so he can kind of just split push, take over the game. So
ooh, Brewmaster in the top lane. He's got himself caught in the trees now. He's going to try and eat his way out, but the Pudge comes in, and he's just kind of stuck in there. Pudge just slowly rotting him down. Oh, Curry Puff's not having a good game, and Eeyore, another kill going his way.
no, that's just got to suck being Curry Puffs. He's just trying to soak some experience, trying to do some cool little tree plays, but they just walk up there, find him, and yeah, he's not going to have a fun time. I think this is going to be a pretty sad Panda for a lot of the game.
Yeah, I think so. Having a look at the last hits now. Ember Spirit fighting back now, 18-4 versus the 22-5 of the Puck. Yeah, despite that, that harsh early game versus Puck, he's doing pretty well here. I think he's just a little bit down in XP, probably just due to the denies I expect. But you know, overall, I'd say he's doing. You're pretty happy, I think.
Yeah, this Ember Spirit is doing pretty fine in the mid lane. You know, 21-6 against the 24-5. So you know, he's not losing out on last hits like you think he would, but. Once he gets like a lot of those levels up in the Flame Guard, as you said, he can kind of just deal with his Puck's harass. And be interested to see if the Pudge rotates first for the Puck or whether or not the Kunkka and
he's there now. He's looped around. He's got a smoke on him. Might not need to pop it here.
He's level 3 too, so this Pudge has a lot of levels. This is pretty scary for 4.5 minutes into the game, and a Pudge is level 3. A level 2 hook can do a heck of a lot.
Brewmaster's found himself up pretty far now, and we've got Pudge wrapping around. As long as the Rubik is going to head up into the trees and go for the TP out. We'll see if Luna's able to find him or the Rubik. No, he is able to escape, but in the mid lane, Gabba is getting gone on with the support rotation. In comes the Rubik, the lift comes out. Doesn't have the searing chains just yet. Silence out from the Puck. He's now trying to run away. Eeyore with the hook manages to catch him, and Rubik secures the kill with the Fade Bolt with just 16 HP left for himself.
Thanks, BT.
That Rubik was so lucky not to die to those Satyrs. Like, those ancient Satyrs are actually just disgusting. I hate those brawlers. Like, that almost killed the Rubik, those stupid ancient creeps.
Oh, that's absolutely savage on them. Have you ever been, like, farming a camp and then suddenly...
Yeah, they just come out of nowhere and
Yeah.
then destroy you. It's the worst. So you think, oh yeah, I can farm these, I have enough HP, and then they root you, and then they, send you down, and here goes the Ember Spirit again.
Yeah, onto the Puck in the mid lane. Unfortunately, the Torrent X marks combination is going to be just a little bit off the mark, and Puck's going to have to settle for losing a stack of health with not much but some lost mana in return.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying there. They potentially could have tried on Ugaba. I don't think he had a Remnant up, so it would have been pretty hard for him to survive that, but yeah, it's kind of just a missed opportunity there from Dark Dash Nova.
Yeah, he did have... How many points has he got in the Flame Guard? He's got 3 points in the Flame Guard. Pretty hard to kill to get, but... Oh, look at this. More harass going onto the Puck. He's got the Illusory Orb, so there's probably no kill here for the Ember Spirit, but... Oh, big hook at the top lane. Pudge has caught himself the Brewmaster once again. Right clicks are coming out. In comes a Lucid Beam, and Big Red picks up the kill for himself with the right click.
This is looking pretty scary for the boys who are washed up. This Pudge is almost level 4 at 6 minutes. Usually you see, like... Level 2, level 3 Pudge at this minute, but yeah, he's doing a heck of a lot of work on this Pudge, so it's going to be pretty scary in the mid game, especially if he gets up that Aether Lens like super early. Like, this Panda is not going to have fun at all. But I just want to touch on... Oh wait, looks like we're going to have the Omni Knight getting going on bot lane. No. I just want to touch on what this Omni Knight, what you feel like this Omni Knight should be building into right now. Like, It kind of feels like in the draft they're just going to try and like buff off the Luna and the Ember Spirit as much as possible with kind of the Pudge just looking for hooks. I just don't really see where the Omni Knight's going to play into this. He's kind of having a hard lane as well, so I don't know. I just don't see what this Omni Knight's really going to provide here, especially against a Morphling as well. So what are your thoughts on the Omni Knight?
Yeah, so I'm quite partial to some Omni Knight myself. Anyone who knows me knows I was a really big fan of him. Post 7.0 nerfs that hit him pretty hard. You know, the big uptime changes to repel. And I think in this game in particular, what you're looking for from your Omni Knight is some early points in Repel. So that way, when it comes time, around 10 or 15 minutes, and you've got your Luna up, she's got a few points in Moonglaive and Luna Blessing, and you're starting to knock on the doors of those tier 1s and tier 2s, that you can just stick Repel on her and not really have to fear, any big initiation.
Yeah, true.
She's got, she's got somewhere between 4 and 7 seconds worth of immunity. That she can just hit on towers, which for a Luna with enough points and a few items is going to be enough to secure a kill. Oh, Brewmaster in trouble once again on the top lane. Pudge just walks in with the right comboed with the Lucent Beam, lets him close the distance, and Ugaba and Rubik managed to pick up the puck in the mid lane as well. 1 in 6 in favor of XL Gaming right now.
It's getting scary. This is starting to snowball a bit out of control. All lanes are... Well, they've kind of won 2 lanes, XL. Omni Knight's not really having that great of a time. He is almost coming up on that level 6, but as you said, he's pretty much just there to sit behind the Ember Spirit and the Luna, so Luna can hit towers and just repels her, and they can't really do much about a repelled Luna. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter that the Omni Knight has lost his lane. It's just, especially when the Luna and the Ember Spirit are this packed up.
Is under attack.
Do you have a Dream Coil?
Up in the top lane, yeah, Dream Coil committed, no kills found from it. Ingo's Luna with the ultimate manages to pick up a kill, and now the poor puck falling as well. So that's a 3-0 for the boys of XL, and it looks like at the moment, they're putting all their eggs in this Morphling basket.
100%. This Morphling has a lot of team to carry right now. His team is currently 1 kill and 9 deaths, so. That was a bit of a scary rotation. Puck thought he could pick off the Rubik there, but yeah, he's didn't expect the Pudge and the Luna to rotate through. So, also this Panda he's not at level 6 yet. They may have to give him the tome at 10 minutes just so he can get level 6, just so they can try and team fight them. But even with split, I don't see them having enough damage unless the Morphling rotates in to get a kill on any of these heroes.
Yeah, it looks like he's got that recovery Midas queued up as well. Eodor knows he's in that general area, but Hook not quite on the mark. If there's one thing I'd like to point out is that if we have a look at the farm on the Morphling versus the Luna at the moment, if there's one thing that I think can be said for Brewmaster is that, he might not necessarily have been able to get all the levels and the farm that, maybe he wanted out of this lane, but he's done a fantastic job of disrupting this Luna's farm.
Yeah, definitely. Luna's only sitting at 3rd on net worth right now. She's not, skyrocketing forward as you think you would with a carry that's had this many kills, so... Curry Puffs is doing his job as being a pretty annoying offlaner, but yeah, he is up on that level 6 right now. And yeah, so maybe he can try and get some stuff going on with the puck, with the Kunkka, but I think they just need to wait on their level 6s of the Kunkka, and they can kind of roam around the maps trying to see what they can get, because Team XL kind of want to sit back, wait till Luna gets... looks like she's already got a Mask of Madness, so probably just go into treads and then, just let them push into towers and try and counter-initiate with the Panda split.
Oh, Puck in the mid lane, could be in trouble, commits the Dream Coil onto the Puck. He remnants forward, unfortunately misses the kill. Just a very good phase shift by the Puck, and he's going to go down thanks to a rotation in from the Kunkka, who hits level 6 off of the back of that one.
Yeah,
Pudge in the mid lane gets the hook onto the Puck. Eodor just pulling it together this game, isn't he?
Eodor is actually going ham on this Pudge. He has his level 6, has his Soul Ring as well as Tranquil Boots, and 1400 gold close to a Blink Dagger. He could go into the 8th lens if he wanted to, but it looks like he wants to get the Blink Dagger up first. So he is starting to do what we said. Pudge deciding to take over this game, and out comes an Eclipse on top of Birdie. So much hate on this poor Crystal
for a level 4 CM. I feel like it's maybe a tad bit of overcommitment there, but whatever you need to do to secure yourself the tower. Kunkka, another successful hook by Pudge. He's now 5-0-3. This guy has like 75% kill participation and has nearly half of all the kills on the team to himself.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want out of a second pick Pudge. Eodor's just like, boys, pick me Pudge. I'm gonna go ham. It's gonna be great.
I promise you. Just pick me Pudge. Pick me Pudge.
But this Morphling has taken a tier 1 by himself. He's very, very close at Lincoln's here, so this could be probably go time for the boys of Washed Up. Try and get something with the Morphling Lincoln's here with the Panda Spit and Dream Coil. So Probably just waiting on this on the Veil of Discord to come out to the puck, and then it's probably go time. Push into this tier 1, try and force XL to come back because they do know that Eclipse is on cooldown as well. So, but Panda still farming away. He is still committing to that Midas. I'm not quite sure if this is the right way to go. Could potentially, probably just waiting to see if he can get enough gold towards the Blink Dagger, and if he, is about to die, may just buy out to the hand of Midas and come back that way. But he does have a fair amount of gold saved up, so this could be pretty good for the boys of Washed Up.
Omni Knight in the mid lane, just trying to trade some farm, get some solo EXP, catch up on all that stuff he missed in the lane a little bit earlier. And he's gone in for Arcanes and Soul Ring as well. Oh, Ugaba, top lane, gets the Remnant, but and he's going to be able to get out just in time. But in comes the Brewmaster, who's got the split. Pudge is there with the backup, though, gets the hook out. Manages to clean up the CM. Coil is committed. Jumps in. Manages to clean up the kill on the Pudge. That's first death.
First death at 13 minutes as a roaming Pudge. You probably feel good about that.
And that bounty, though, 501 gold.
Yeah, that did go all to the puck, which is kind of unfortunate. Not the hero that you want to get a kill streak on. But that was a good rotation from the boys of Washed Up. Ember Spirit, unfortunately, didn't go down. Pretty sick Remnant plays there by Ugaba. So, yeah, this is the first split. Did net them a pretty big kill, to be fair. So they're probably just going to have to wait, kick back, wait until Panda splits back up before they can try and engage again. Because I don't think they're winning a fight if they don't have Panda split.
Now, I might have missed exactly the contributions to that engagement, but other than the Thunderclap, what was it that the Brewmaster contributed to that particular fight?
I think he pretty much just zoned out the Ember Spirit. The Ember Spirit still was probably about half HP, half mana. Still had a few remnants up as well, and once the puck came in and the Panda split was out, Ember Spirit didn't really want to stick around because, if he gets tornadoed up, gets rid of his Flame Guard, and the puck comes in with the Silence and the Dream Coil, he's kind of done for. So he pretty much just said, this is not worth me being here, and decided to just leave. And so it was pretty smart there, but yeah, kind of just a zoning Panda ult. He did go down. Did he go down in that fight? I don't think he did.
No, I think I'm fairly certain he lived through that.
Yeah, so it was kind of just forcing the Ember Spirit to either commit to the fight and potentially die to the
illusion.
The puck.
Illusion bait mid. Pudge has got himself a Blink Dagger. That's frightening. He's got himself. He's got himself a Blink Dagger before the Morphling. Actually, Morphling only just picked up his Lincolns. Then I was about to say, if you're Morphling, that's incredibly scary.
Yeah, 100%.
But he has got the Lincolns now, so he'll be feeling a little bit more secure about that. But no shortage of ways to pop that Lincolns on XL.
Yeah, they do have some really good ways. They don't really have... the only instant one that they kind of have is Spell Steal into Lift. So that's their main way of doing it. And without any maneuverability from the Rubik, I don't think it's going to be that easy for them to kill him. But Morphling is getting ganked bot.
They at least want the tower, that's for sure. Dono moving into position. Big Red just diving under the tower. Oh, Eodor. Hook close, but just a little bit too slow. I don't know whether or not that would have been within its 100 unit seek range, but either way, he generally had the general area right.
Yeah. So pretty much forcing the Morphling out. They get the tier 1, they defend their tier 1 mid. This could be a pretty big team fight here. Oh, what a beautiful set of change. Now comes the Pudge as well. Puck goes down one more time. They did not defend their tower, so the tower did go down, unfortunately. And they did get a tier 1 of their own, and this will be another tier 1, so this is looking really good for XL.
It looks like Washed Up just want to avoid fighting at the moment. They don't want to go on this Luna, they don't want to fight into this Ember Spirit, and they certainly don't want to be hooked anymore by this Pudge.
Yeah, no, this Pudge is kind of taking over the game, as we said. He's one of those heroes that can be extremely scary or extremely non-existent.
I am 100% certain that this Pudge does not make it into Game 2.
Yeah, he seems
win or lose.
Pretty targeted. Seems like I'm experiencing a bit of lag right now, so excuse me if I'm a bit out of sync.
Oh, Eodor missing a hook. That's not Eodor.
Reported. This Pudge is being reported right now. You missed one hook, dude. Nah, that's it. You're cut from the team. We're not picking you Pudge anymore.
So much for a stand-in.
Yeah.
Won't make it past his probation period.
No, this is his trial, and he's already cut. 17 minutes into game one, it's like, nah, man, you can't straight up. You missed a hook. This is not good.
Looks like he's building into an aethel end as well, so have a bit more range on the meat hook and a bit more range on that dismember as well, so a little bit more leeway when you blink in.
Yeah, should pretty much be able to let him lock down either the Kunkka or the Crystal Maiden. I don't think he really wants to go onto the Morphling. So probably like one of his targets would be either the Puck or the Panda. If they can blow up the Panda before split, I think they just win the team fight from there.
You know, I almost feel like Pudge needs to get himself a 4-star, just so like he could blink in on Morphling and can't pop that Lincoln Sphere and go for like the instant dismember.
Yeah, that would be a pretty sick play, but I think if the Morphling has his Replicant up, he's pretty much not going to stick around anywhere near a Pudge anyways, because if a Pudge is blinking on top of you, 90% of the time he's going to, like, he has friends around, so you just kind of want to get the hell out of dodge. So I think with a Replicant up, I don't think he's going to be able to die fairly soon, unless they do pick up. It doesn't look like Ember Spirit's going to do it. I was thinking of a Orchid on the Ember Spirit, just for a bit of extra lockdown against the Puck and the Morphling, so I think this Morphling should have pretty free reign for a long time. Ooh, smoke up.
They're looking for... It looks like they've finally decided that they want to deal with this Morphling. He's got his Replicate up for a few more seconds. We'll see if they're able to turn this into something, or whether or not these fast fingers of the Morphling are going to be able to get the job done. But no, they're not! Immediate disable and then the blink in from the Pudge with the Dismember, but Jesus, he is able to get out. Mustn't have been much long left on that Replicate.
Yeah, I think it was probably the last 2 seconds of that Replicant. He got out, and unfortunately just didn't have enough damage there. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, he did use Veil of Discord, but yeah, just not enough damage with that level 4 morph was able to get out of it. See, without silences against a Morphling, he's able to just morph like that, and it's pretty hard. But do have a Panda Split on top. Luna is caught out by herself. Friends are coming in, though.
Here comes the backup, but Luna, she's in trouble. She does get X-Mark back into it, lives for now, but in comes the Puck, managed to pick up the kill for himself. And a stolen Rubik boat is going to give them all that run buff. Hooks on point for Eodor. Morphling doing work now. He's decided he doesn't want to be part of this fight anymore. In comes the Puck with the silence, manages to get herself out. Morphling getting chased down, Replicate up, so they're going to be able to split up, and I don't think there's a kill here on the Morphling. We're looking for now, and both the Puck and the Morphling managed to escape to activate the Shrine with backup coming in now. But in goes Ugabba. He says, I'm not done yet. Grabs himself the Puck, grabs himself the Morphling. In comes Pudge, manages to get the Dismember onto the Puck, and I think that's going to be a kill. Morphling looking to escape now. See if Ember Spirit or Pudge want to go for a chase down.
Dude, this Rubik's OG as he's been stealing some most insane spells. He stole boats, stole Illusory Orb. Pretty sure he stole... What else did he steal? He stole something good from the Crystal Maiden as well, so... Donor doing extremely big work on this Rubik. That boat did a heck of a lot of work. They did only get 2 heroes, though, out of that entire engagement, which was kind of surprising. We thought that XL was going to come out with a pretty big 5-man wipe, but yeah, they just didn't pick... They lost the Luna, I believe, for that, and they only got the Puck and the Panda. Actually, no, the Puck and the Kunkka. Right.
Yeah, surprisingly not a lot. I believe the CM managed to TP herself out, or did she just juke around the trees? I think I saw her being chased. Oh, fortunately we did miss a kill onto the Kunkka, but XL trying to pick up a couple more. They managed to get themselves the Panda. Ooh, Split is unfortunately off cooldown.
Yeah, this is the problem with Panda. Once he splits off cooldown, you kind of get, you know, you're kind of not really much of a hero, to be fair. So I think Washed Up kind of getting caught out there. Didn't expect a Luna to be walking around Ancients. And they kind of just got blown up, and this is going to be a free tier 2, even with buyback on the Panda. Oh, he does have Split now, so they could potentially...
Ooh, they've got the root onto the Puck.
Nah, I think they're just going to let this go. It's only 1 tier 2. Boys from XL want to keep fighting, though.
Oh, Ugabba diving up onto the tier 4s. Gets rooted up by the Crystal Maiden, though. Luna looking to start doing some damage onto that tower. Eodor again with the hooks. This man, could somebody just ban his Pudge already?
This Eodor is doing insane amounts of work.
Oh, in comes the Brewmaster with the Split. It looks like they want to fight. They've got the Dream Coil out onto the Luna. No BKB yet. Doesn't quite have the item. In comes the boat. Managed to pick up a kill. And here's the Dream Coil from the Rubik. Manages to catch the Puck. How do you like some of your own medicine, Puck? Omni Knight now getting right-clicked down by the Morphling, and that fight definitely going the way of Washed Up, losing absolutely no one.
Yeah, I think it was a bit over-aggressive there. Boys from XL thought they could go for a tier 3. Panda respawned with his split, jumped in, got 3 heroes, and that was a beautiful dream call from Pengu as well. So this is looking pretty bad. Morphling, as we said, hasn't been touched recently. He does have his E-Blade and Lincoln Sphere right now. So a lot of these heroes are going to be pretty easy pickings for a Morphling.
Yeah, I think the Rubik just gets blown up. However, I think Pudge, he's got 13 flesh heap stacks.
Yeah, I think Pudge is fine.
I think he probably lives.
Especially with a Rubik next to him as well with Nullfield. He should be pretty fine. I think the only ones is if Omni Knight's not quick enough on Repel and Rubik, I think are probably the two that'll die. Maybe even a Luna, potentially. She only has 1400 HP, so...
Yeah, Omni Knight's at about 1400 as well. He does have the mech. He's got his magic stick, which currently has 17 charges. So I think he's probably just fine. Yeah, between that and the repel, I'll be surprised if he can be blown up before he can save himself.
Yeah, definitely. But Eodor coming up with that 8th lens already. Man, this Pudge is so fat. He's pretty much keeping up with net worth with an offlane Panda who has a Midas. So... for a position 4, this is definitely what you want.
I don't think he's position 4 anymore. Like, he's above the Omni Knight right now. This is your Pos 3 Pudge.
Yeah, this Pudge is definitely putting a reason as to why this hero is pretty much the most played hero of all time. He's very fun to play, very fun to watch as well. So, gonna push in this tier 2. Split is off cooldown again. Morphling isn't around though.
Ooh, excellent dodge there by the Luna. Dream Coil catching... oh, the stolen Dream Coil, actually. And in comes the Morphling, blows up the Rubik instantly. Now looking to chase down the Luna. X marks the spot, brings it back into the Torrent combination. Omni Knight just spinning around up in the air. He's going to be the next target. Pudge going down again. Pudge just feeding now.
Yeah, Rubik used the Dream Coil on the Replicate Puck. And then the Morphling was able to come in and shotgun him down. So, and with the Luna not having her ultimate either or repel, she just got blown up by these enemy heroes. So, looks like the Morphling's starting to carry, boys.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job of Manta dodging that torrent, but Morphling, he's just so big. He's top of the net worth at the moment. He's doing like 240 damage per right click. Every, what's that, half second? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this Morphling's getting pretty hard to handle. Especially once he gets probably like his Skadi or his Manta now. They just don't really have the items or the abilities to deal with a Morphling. He's able to get his Strength Morph off 90% of the time. And without any silences or really hardcore disables, I think this Morphling's just going to have pretty free reign, being able to just one-shot Rubik constantly.
Yeah, they just can't control him in these fights. They don't. Yeah, since they don't have a silence. Ideally, you would love like an AOE silence, but there's no item in the game that's going to give you that.
Gonna go into a replicant again. Eodor not missing hooks, but unfortunately it was not on a real hero. But interested to see how these items are going. Emissariat's going to go into a Manta style. What is Luna coming up on? She has a Manta, 1,000 gold, so probably BKB next for the Luna, I'd imagine. I don't see her going any other item that'll help her too much.
Yeah, I've been thinking that for a while, that she's definitely short of a BKB, but even then, she just gets right-clicked down. Sure, she doesn't get shotgunned, but she still doesn't win the right-click war with Morphling right now.
Definitely not. She kind of really has to wait for the Morphling to go onto probably the Rubik, and then if the Rubik can get a turnaround with an Omni Knight heal and mech, and kind of just disable him from there. But still, even then, I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to kill him.
I think the only way I can think that they kill him is that, he overextends with Waveform a little bit while his Replicate's off cooldown, and they get just a really good, Eclipse onto him.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to definitely dump a lot of their spells on top of him just to try and bring him down, but if they do bring him down, that's extremely good for them. That relieves a bit of that split push pressure, relieves a bit of that team fight pressure as well, and stops him from farming on top of that. But the scary thing is, Puck is the same net worth as his Luna, so if the Morphling just stays a little bit ahead of either of these two cores and Puck stays even with them, I think this game's pretty much in the bag for Washed Up.
Yeah, for all the early game that they had, early game success that they had, and just how hard Eodor was carrying them, they really just don't have any way of handling this Morphling right now.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to go into a Manta style as well. So even if they do come up with, I don't know, a surprise Orchid on the Ember Spirit or on the Luna, he's going to be able to get away from it pretty easily. And yeah, I think pretty much once he gets that, and then Butterfly, Scardy or whatever, he's pretty much unkillable at that point, I think. Because Luna doesn't want to build into an MKB either, and neither does the Ember Spirit, and they both rely pretty heavily on their right clicks. So I think Butterfly after the Manta style is the way to go here, and yeah, Morphling's going to be that one-shot machine that we all know and love.
So what's the strategy then here for XL? I mean, they've got Ugaba who can push out those side lanes, but
I think what they need to do is they need to force a bad fight with Panda Split, and then once they've done that, force the Morphling to waste his replicate. So they're pretty much just going to try and farm and try and take as much control as they can. Oh, looks like we do have a hook on Dark Destron Over as well, so this is going to be a free counter kill. But yeah, as I was saying, they really need the Panda Split to be on cooldown and the Morphling to be away without a replicate. Because if he's able to split push these lanes, cause pressure on top bot, wherever he wants to be, and then replicate into a fight, they're pretty much going to lose 90% of the time because they're going to use their abilities at the start of the fight, and then Morphling's going to come in once all these big ultis are on cooldown.
Pudge has caught himself with the Brewmaster. He's able to get the split off though, and looks like they might want to just bail out of this Roche fight. But in comes the puck. They immediately blow up the Rubik, and oh my god, they just annihilated Pudge. So to Pudge the Morphling.
There was your position 1 Morphling there. Looks like the fight's not over yet. Park does get dismembered. Does get a good little phase shift away though. I think he might be able to
he's going to die anyway. And in comes Luna with the Loosened Beam. Kunkka not quite making it up onto the higher ground far enough to stop himself from getting blown up. And this is a huge opening for the boys.
So what happened in that fight was Ugaba got a very nice Syrian Chains out on the Morphling, and then triple remnanted with his Veil of Discord on top of an Omni Knight heal, and Morphling didn't have time to strength morph, and just got from 100 to 0 just in a second. That was insane.
I'm certain that if I wasn't looking at 30 FPS, I might have missed it. It was that quick. I guess that's the concern. Maybe Morphling next time won't have himself completely agimorphed.
Yeah, never go full agimorph, but
you never go full agi.
I think he just wasn't expecting the damage to come out from the Ember Spirit, and I think he was in his right mind to stand there and it's alright, I don't have to strength morph yet. But then the Omni Knight heal on top of the triple remnant just did so much damage, and he just had no time to strength morph at all and just got blown up. And yeah, this gives a free Aegis onto the boys of XL, so they have Aegis BKB on the Luna now, so they're in a very, very good spot. They're just going to push in this tier 2, and Morphling's going to have to be a lot careful now.
Yeah, my only concern, I guess, for XL at the moment is that's perhaps a mistake that Morphling won't make again.
Definitely, he will not be going. He was pretty full out. He went pretty ham. Decided to jump in when I don't think he should have. There was a lot of cooldowns still ready for the boys of XL, so he jumped in expecting to get a kill on the Rubik. Did pick up the Rubik, but unfortunately he did go down to the Ember Spirit, who was waiting on the back lines. But you can't fault Ugaba on his Ember Spirit. Oh, looks like we do have another split out on top. Morphling isn't there, so it looks like this could be a bit of bait and switch play. Morphling may get a tier 3 for this.
Oh, it looks like Pudge has been sent back to deal with the Morphling. Does manage to get the hook, and it's a lot of damage, but I mean, Morphling doesn't really care. He's just going to pop the Morph and keep going. Meanwhile, Luna popping that BKB, trying to look for something so that it's maybe not completely wasted.
This is so bad for XL.
Tier 3 tower goes down, and Morphling back now, working away. They've managed to pop the Aegis on the Luna. I think she's gonna have her Akutsu when she comes back up, so we might see that get popped, but the immediate stun, well timed there by the Kunkka.
Yeah, that was very good kiting there by the boys that washed up. Panda jumped in with his ulti. Does have Aghanim's ulti too, so he just jumped in, did whatever he could, forced out the BKB from the Luna, and then once our BKB was down, Morphin came in, slapped her, and pretty easy pickings once she was dead as well. So yeah, it was very well played there by the boys that washed up, and they got a tier 3 out of it too. So this is such a back and forth game. I actually love this. This is so good.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, Morphling he just Chris Brown Luna.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so we saw how easily it was for Morphling to die, but then in the same vein, Luna dies extremely quickly to the Morphling if Morphling isn't locked down or blown up pretty much by the Ember Spirit. So it's getting pretty scary for XL. Their game plan is pretty much blow up Morphling. If we don't blow him up, GG
Lose
boys.
fight, yeah, that's it. If they don't get a handle on him, the fight's over before it's even begun, really.
Yeah, especially with this Panda, he's coming back like extremely well. He has Aghanim Scepter, going to go into a Radiance for a bit more mischance, and you know, once he starts getting more and more items, he's just going to be just another thing to deal with in these team fights, and they're already having troubles with the single thing that they have to deal with in the team fight, so it's not looking good for XL.
So when you're Brewmaster and you have a Radiance, which one of the pandas carries the aura? Is it the Earth Panda?
I believe the Radiance goes onto the Fire Panda.
Onto the Fire Panda.
Yeah,
So
I think Radiance
could be a real pain. You know, you've got a couple of heroes, 3 heroes actually, on XL that have Blink Daggers, and if you've just got a Brewmaster running rampant around, cancelling those Blink, it's going to be really hard for some of those heroes to be able to, I guess, counter-initiate.
Yeah, definitely. It's also really good. It provides so much burn damage. Like, a lot of people really underestimate the amount of damage that Fire Panda can put out, and with the Radiance on top of that, it does so much work. And once he starts getting into those split talents, so I think, yeah, so his level 25 is 2,000 health on Primal Split units. So every single one of his pandas gets 2,000 HP, and with the Radiance on top of that, that's just stays in the fight, and it's really, really annoying to deal with. So we have a smoke up from XL though.
Nearly about to expire. We'll see if they're able to find anything. Looks like they're all grouped up, maybe looking for a smoke of their own, perhaps.
There was a Lincoln spot on the Morphling, but I don't think they want to go, so they're kind of falling back here. Split is up. Oh, they smoked underneath the ward. No.
Well, XL are going to know all about that. They managed to catch themselves a CM. Hook comes out onto the Kunkka, but the boat follow-up manages to blow up the Pudge almost immediately at the start of that fight, so there will be no backup. Ugabra on the backlines manages to pick up the Crystal Maiden. Kunkka getting worked down himself by Luna. A lot of damage coming out, and now Morphling, he could be in some trouble, but... Oh, is that...
That was
a lot of damage there. Is he in trouble? Morphling now is getting worked down. Ugabba, lots of right clicks. They managed to take down the raid boss, and... Puck doesn't want any of that. She's just jumping straight out, and they've caught themselves the Brewmaster as well. That's a 4-for-1 trade, and what looked like it was going to be a very bad starting fight for XL.
That was so well played by Young Scrim. He waited until the Luna was E-bladed, and then he repelled her, stopped the damage from the adaptive strike and the waveform, was able to turn around on the Morphling after he committed. 2 buybacks, that's 100% worth. XL just got a heck of a lot out of that one team fight. Morphling had a buyback, Morphling died. Well, at least I know they can kill him.
Yeah, that's right. Without crazy luck, they were able to take him down. And if we have a look at the net worth graph, this has been such a backwards and forwards game. Like, no team has had more than a 4K lead over the other at any point. Mostly favoring XL, but
yeah, it's really goes to show how close these teams actually are, especially with both the core heroes that we have here being able to fight extremely well around the Morphling, around the Luna and stuff like that. So looks like the boys are washed up, trying to push forward, trying to get what they can. Maybe pick up Donor with that replicant in the front line, but yeah, this game could go either way. 100%. This game could go wherever. You know, if one team makes one little mistake, as we saw in that last team fight, and you know, it can kind of just swing back and forth. But it's getting a lot better for XL because they're winning a lot of these team fights. They're getting more and more items on these core heroes, and Ember Spirit now is on top of the Morphling in farm, so he's going to be dealing a heck of a lot of more damage in these team fights, and you know, just being able to kite more with the tiny cooldown on Searing Chains. So
Yeah, what are you going for the... He's got the 500 Flame Guard absorption. That's going to help him to not get quite so exploded.
Yeah, I think that the 10 armor is not that great. Like 10 armor's nice, but if you're against a Morphling who's doing 300 damage consistently, it's not really that great. And you look at the team of Washed Up, their only physical damage is the Morphling, so a lot of it is magic damage, so that extra 500 HP on top of his Flame Guard will be able to let him keep it on top of himself for a lot longer and deal a lot more damage in these team fights.
Yeah, he's already got a decent amount of armor already, so he's got 10 base, plus the 6 he's getting from the Veil. I mean, that's 50% magic resistance. Stacking another 10 armor on that is going to be another 10% or something like that. It just doesn't stack well enough, I think, to make it worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. It's kind of just you'd kind of just be mitigating the damage from the Morphling, and then he's still got magic damage as well on top of that. So it's
hook out onto the puck. They managed to
hook.
catch it, but not quite fast enough. She does have the Lincoln Sphere. They do pop it, and the Stolen Torrent manages to connect. Uses herself up. She's gonna have to blink in a second, along with the phase shift. A little preemptive BKB there. A little preemptive also on the Eclipse. And I think they're gonna want to look to back up as the Morphling comes in, and Omni Knight finding himself being the target of that aggression kill, picked up by the Dream Coil.
Yeah, there's a bit of an awkward fight there. Big Red kind of just blowing a lot of his cooldowns straight away, and not really getting much for it. Now the Morphling in the puck walking through. This will be a pretty free
caught
kill on
themselves
Donor.
with Rubik too.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. As I was saying, one little misstep and team can go any other way. It looks like Morphe's going to move into a BKB of his own, so he's going to be bloody scary once that BKB's up. And they're going to push in the tier 3 here.
They've got the hook, but I don't know how they're not going to really translate that into a kill. Already working his way onto the range racks. In comes Luna with the Lucent Beam. Just trying to zone him back out now, but they do have the lift. Are they going to have the damage? Yes, they are. Morphling overstepping his marks just a little bit, overestimating his ability to tank these ganks. Brewmaster does have the split. Manages to blink himself out, and the defensive boat going to try and push the Luna back. Torrent combination connects. Ugaba jumping forward. He's going to have the blink up in a couple of seconds. Manages to catch himself the Kunkka. Team's working away now. And a nice easy kill on that Kunkka, and suddenly...
more back and forth.
Oh, back the other way once again, but this is really scary. You have a Luna bearing down on a lane of racks, and you have no buyback on your Morphling.
Pretty scary.
It's on cooldown.
Yeah, Morphling, no buyback. 50 seconds left for him.
Kunkka also
and
has
he jumps
no buyback.
in, no. Oh no, he got rooted, and he gets dismembered as well. Looks like the Panda will go down.
Crystal Maiden, she's going to do whatever she can to hold this off, but nothing's going to stop these boys. She buys back, God. But what is she really going to do?
That's Panda without buyback either. 70 seconds, and as you said, Luna starts chunking down these buildings with the Manta style. You're going to go into a tier 3. That's one lane of racks down. This could be 2. 20 seconds left on their Morphling. 60 seconds left on their Panda. Split available when he comes back as well, so... Puck's trying to do what he can.
Oh, they've found themselves the Kunkka. They're going to be able to get him. Yes, they are. Things are looking suddenly really bad for this potential defense once the Morphling comes back. They do have that Lucent Beam off cooldown, and Luna, she's going to have the BKB in 20 seconds. They've picked up the Crystal Maiden. Are the Puck and the Morphling going to be able to hold this off, or are the boys going to be able to pick themselves up another lane of racks?
Well, they call it GG. Coming out, the boys have washed out. That was, as I said, one little misstep, and that's all it takes. Washed up. Poor little Morphling thought he was going to be able to tank that, be able to replicate out, but unfortunately he did go down, and that just kind of caused him the game there. Kind of misstepping just a little bit.
Yeah, the whole game was just teetering on the knife edge for at least the last 10 or 15 minutes. Once both of those mid towers went, any fight that was like that, where you lose your core and maybe you don't have that buyback, was going to go exactly the way that it just did.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to point you towards the graphs on the end screen. Those graphs just really dictate how this game was going. It was extremely back and forth between both these teams. We thought, Morphling's untouchable. He can't do anything against it. And then there was a couple good fights there by Ugaba and Big Red. And unfortunately, Morpher getting caught out with no buyback in the end did lose them the game. But yeah, that was an interesting game. I'm keen for game 2, dude.
Oh, if it's anything like game 1, it is going to be just an absolute ripper. And if you've got to give your MVP to someone, who's that going to be?
I would have to give it to Ugaba. I think he played extremely well on his Ember Spirit. Laned extremely well against Pengu. Don't think he was supposed to win that lane against the Puck. And yeah, he kind of just carried his team. He did really well in team fights, kited around, used his spells properly, and yeah, I think he just did extremely well in that Ember Spirit.
I think as much as I loved Ugaba, and he was crucial in blowing up that Morphling pretty much every time he died, all 3 times he died in that game. But I've got to hand it to Eodor.
Yeah, Eodor did do a heck of a lot of work in those early games. Yeah, his pudge is something to be scared of, dude.
Certainly, I imagine that they'll ban that out fairly quickly in the last round. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for Game 1. Game 2 is going to be up very shortly, so hang around and we'll be back soon.